Welcome everyone, just settling yourself into your space and making any little micro adjustments that you might need to make for your body. And if you like, you can close your eyes down, you can keep them open, and you can cross your hands across your chest and just begin a gentle bilateral tapping here. You can gently sway as well if you like, or just maybe staying still if you prefer. As you send through this calming signal to the amygdala, just bring to mind 3 things that you would like to let go of. 3 things that you don't want to carry with you into this session that we can put in the worry bowl. Once you have those 3 things in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 deep breaths, and with each breath we're going to pause at the top and then exhale with a sigh, and imagine each of these things making their way out of you into the worry bowl. So sort of just sighing them out into the big worry bowl. So just holding one in mind, taking a nice big inhale in through the nose, filling up your belly, holding that breath at the top of it, and then sighing it all out, letting go of whatever that first thing was. And we're going to do the same, taking another big breath in when you're ready. Pausing at the top, sighing it out, letting that thing go into the worry bowl. And one more nice big inhale, pausing at the top, sighing it out, letting go of that third thing. And now we'll do another few breaths in that way, and we'll just release the tension in our body. So on this first breath, we're going to focus on releasing the tension in our lower body. So as you sigh out that air, just relax your legs, your knees, your ankles, just let the tension go, sighing that air out. And then again, we'll breathe nice and deep into our core. And focusing on exhaling out any tension in the lower back, in the upper back, in the stomach, in your midsection, just letting go of that. And then on the next breath, just focusing your attention, letting go of anything in your upper body, your neck and your shoulders and your face. And if there's anything else you'd like to let go of before we put the worry bowl away, now's your opportunity. One big inhale in. Letting go. And we'll go ahead and pop that giant bowl of worries and concerns and things out of sight, out of mind. Let me know if you want anything back at the end. And now we've gotten rid of what's at the forefront of our mind, let's get rid of, or allow our subconscious mind to let go of the things that it's been holding on to. So you can repeat after me, saying out loud, I give my subconscious mind permission to release my worries and fears now. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands slightly cupped onto our belly, and we're going to tap our way over our body and just see if we can unblock anything that our subconscious mind might have been holding on to, might have been storing as tension or blocked energy or anything throughout the body. So just noticing as you tap over each part, if there are parts of you that feel a little stuck, you might want to linger on some areas a little longer. And just tapping your way down. And a big round of applause in the middle. See if you can be a ridiculous happy seal. Put a smile on your face if you can muster it. And then tapping your way back up, all the way up. And giving yourself a big pat on the back for showing up for yourself in this way. Yet again, for being here. And we'll tap our way over this side and down the inside of this arm. Unblocking anything that needs to be unblocked, coming down for another big happy seal opportunity, happy walrus, and tapping your way back up for another big pat on the back, because I know that it can be a challenge to do these types of things. And when you're ready, just bringing your attention to your face, and we'll do gentle raindrops down the very center. See if you can soften your expression a little on your face. And another row slightly further out. And another row down the sides there. And bringing your hands up to form some gentle fists. We're going to tap our way over the top of your head and down around to the back of your neck. And another row slightly further out. And another one just above the ears and down and around. And then just finding your kidneys, giving yourself a pat on the lower back before tapping all the way down the outside of your legs, onto the top of your feet, and then coming back up the inside. And all the way up, coming back to rest your hands on your belly, closing your eyes down for a moment, and just allowing yourself a few deep breaths here, just at your own pace, your own rhythm. And in this quiet, peaceful moment, just allowing yourself the opportunity to check in with how it really feels to be you. How it really feels to be you in your body in this moment. Maybe noticing that buzzing sensation on the surface of your skin. Noticing that that's where your walls are, where you end and the world around you begins. Maybe tuning in to any tension you're still holding in parts of the body. Maybe tuning in to the thoughts that are moving through your mind and just noticing if they are thoughts of the future, thoughts of the past, or thoughts of the present. And just noticing all these things without any judgment. And just taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and breathing into your belly and feeling as that breath moves your belly. And then a nice big sigh, letting it go. And when you're ready, you can blink open your eyes again. Just come back to presence in the room. You might like to make some little adjustments with your body. And we might just begin a gentle sway of the spine, just swaying your body from side to side. Might start little movements and then become a little wider each time. You might be taking your gentle sway a little further. You might even be taking your sway forward and backwards, curling your spine over, and then opening up your chest again. You might be dropping one shoulder at a time, rolling those around. You might be creating circles with your core. Just having a play around and exploring where your body would like to go. And you might like to even stand up for this so that you can move your legs and move your hips around. Or you just might like to stretch your legs out and get some movement going in them, and perhaps even bringing your arms into the movement. Just gently reawakening your body if you've been still throughout the day. Just allowing for this free-flowing exploration, sort of like an interpretive dance of how it feels to be you in this moment in time. Not worrying about what it looks like, but just tuning into the feeling of moving these parts of yourself. Noticing which parts of your muscles contract and which parts let go. You might find that you want to isolate some movement and just move one part of you and then moving another. I feel like I'm a robot in this moment. Yes, the weirdness is here. It's always been here. And just moving in any way that feels good for you. You might like to imagine that you're submerged in water, that you're weightless. If you are on a seat doing this practice, maybe your legs are really flowing as well, like you're treading water. And once you feel like you've explored enough, you can just start to bring your movements back to a bit more stillness in the center, just bringing yourself back. And we might bring our attention up to our faces now and just see if we can shift any worry that might still be there. So we're just going to press down our forehead and pinch your eyebrow when you get there. And just shift any worry out of your expression. Just noticing how it feels when you're able to shift that worry right off your face and just pinching your way all the way to the edges of your eyebrows. And then we're going to shift it in the other direction. So firstly, just painting a nice soft line on your eyelids and then moving as though you're painting a little rainbow up your face. And once you get to your eyebrows, press a little firmer, noticing all the texture there of the hairs of your eyebrows. And going up a little bit more each time, maybe imagining each color of the rainbow going on to your forehead. And just tuning into those sensations of your face. And perhaps once you reach your hairline, you'd like to come down to your temples and just massage here for a moment. Maybe from here, just exploring down over your cheekbones, finding that joint in your jaw, letting your mouth fall softly open so you can massage right into that area. And release all that tension that you might be storing there in your jaw. So you can do this just by free exploration. You might like to position your hands so that they're facing in towards that crevice of your jaw and just sort of move that around. Become the clown at the rodeo. Maybe opening and closing your jaw as you press into this area. Just exploring in any way that feels right for you. And you might like to give your cheeks a smoosh just all over, moving that skin around. Maybe exploring your cheekbones and around underneath your eyes, onto your nose. Just really bringing some love and attention to the surface of your face. Exploring around your mouth and any tension that you're holding here. And taking that attention along your jawline, noticing which parts are tight. And then exploring your ears. Noticing the sensations that happen throughout your body as you press upon these parts. And exploring in behind and in front of your ears as well. You might like to, from here, just come down and massage either side of your neck, massaging down the outside of the vagus nerve. And from here, you might like to take your attention around the back of your neck and just massage up into the base of your head, finding wherever you might be storing tension here as well, just pressing into it. Might feel a little tender in parts. Up under here, spots that hold a lot of tension. So just see what needs to be given some love here. And just massaging all over your skull. Again, just tuning into how that really feels on the places where your hands are applying pressure. And also noticing which parts of your lower limbs might come to life a little. Maybe you're feeling some tingling in your arms perhaps. Just really noticing what's happening in your body as you give it this love and attention. As you connect back with these sensations within you. As you mess up your hair. Get some bed hair going before you get into bed. And when you feel ready to move on from here, you might like to bring your attention down to your neck and shoulders and just massage in here. You might be storing some tension here like me. And just massaging around, and if you like, you can be moving your head around as well, just making sure your movements are nice and slow and controlled. You don't want to jolt anything too quickly. And there might be other parts of your body that you prefer to be massaging into. Just using this time as your time to connect in with whichever parts of you need a little bit more attention and nurturing. You might have one of those massaging guns or a massaging tool. If you wanted to grab that now and use that on yourself, then you can go ahead and grab that. Or simply just connect in with some gentle touch. You might like to massage down both of your arms, noticing how your skin feels under your hand, how it moves, how fabric moves over your skin if you've got a jumper on. Just really tuning into the sensations in the body. And coming down to the hand, you might like to massage along each of your digits, or you might prefer to do the detoxifying twisting motion, just twisting the knuckles of one hand over each digit of the other hand, or maybe a bit of both. Maybe you want to do both. It's totally up to you, just exploring your hand in any way that feels good, knowing that like with the ears, there's lots of reflexology points here. And it doesn't matter that you don't know what they connect with. I don't know. Just press upon them and feel how it feels when your healing systems all come back online and start talking to each other. You might like to just massage into the palm of your hand as well, exploring all those beautiful textured lines that make you uniquely you. Maybe exploring into that webbed part of your hand. Pressing into that acupressure point for a moment, seeing what might shift and change in your body. And then giving that hand a break, switching it over, maybe massaging down this other arm. And connecting in on this side. Maybe comparing it to the other side, noticing how it feels. There might be parts of you that are holding a little more tension. Maybe you've got an RSI from some computer work, or holding your phone, doing the doom scroll, I don't know, whatever it might be. Just massage into anywhere that needs a bit of extra love. And coming down to this hand and massaging it, maybe the same way as the other hand, whichever you chose. And don't forget to breathe nice and deeply. Hopefully you're able to breathe through your nose and into your belly. And exploring the palm of this hand. And perhaps pressing into the acupressure point on that webbed part of this side as well. And then interlocking your fingers, let's get some disco moves going. Getting some movement in those wrists of yours. And we'll come back up to this area. We're going to open up our lymphatic flow. So just bring your attention to your collarbone, just pressing in above and below it, rubbing back and forth 10 times over. And then we're going to tap on this area. And then the other side. So we're just opening up the flow for our lymphatic system to drain out those toxins that we've taken on throughout the day. And moving up to underneath your jawline. Now, some of you, it might feel a little tender here, so just go easy if it does, but we're just in a downward motion, just rub here 10 times. And then tapping. And then the other side. And then bring those gentle fists back. We're going to rub them downwards on our chest, back and forth from the very edges right to the center. And then tapping on this area. And then we'll go underneath our underarms. And tapping under here. And the other side. And underneath your breasts or pecs, just alternating that top hand back and forth. And tapping. And then finding that crease in your groin, or sit up so you can see what I'm doing, in a down and out motion with your thumbs, just rubbing into that crease. And tapping. And underneath the knees. And now let's do some cat-cows. Now you can do them from a seated position if you like, just taking your belly forward, your shoulders back and your head up towards the sky, and then curling it over, arching that back, tucking the head in. And just transitioning between those at your own pace, or if you're able to, if you're on a mat, you can get up on your hands and knees and just drop that belly down, head up, and then transition over, arching that back, tucking the head in. And again, just transitioning between those two positions at your own pace. You might like to follow your breath. Maybe you want to hold your breath for a not hold your breath, but hold the position as you breathe a few breaths. It's really up to you how fast you'd like to move through those two. And if you like, you can also explore some additional movement. So maybe you want to drop a shoulder at a time, or maybe you want to take your hips from side to side, or maybe your whole body forward or backwards. And you can also explore, if you're doing it from a seated position, just dropping a shoulder at a time. However you'd like to be doing your exploration, or perhaps you just want to move through those two in a traditional straight line. And if your wrists are getting sore, for those of you who are on your hands and knees, you might just like to widen out your knees and sit back onto your heels. Just rest for a moment, take the weight off your wrists, maybe roll them around. And if you like, when you're feeling ready, just coming back up to hands and knees, We're going to bring one of our knees forward in between our hands, let the other leg come straight back, and just steady yourself here. And if you can, just raising your hands up over your head before we create a nice little pillow, crossing our arms in front of us and resting our head down onto that little pillow. And just resting here, breathing through the sensations. And for anyone who's seated in this practice, you can recreate the same position, just crossing your leg over, reaching up, and then leaning your body forward. Maybe you want to go a little way, maybe you want to fold the whole way over. It's totally up to you. And just breathe through the sensations that arise within you. If you are on the mat, you might like to shift your hips from side to side. Just a little bit of movement there. And if this one feels really good for you and you want to stay longer, then by all means stay exactly where you are. But if you'd like, if your body has signaled to you it's had enough, then just bring yourself back up onto your hands and knees. And we'll switch it over to the other side. So if you're seated, then just crossing the other leg over and recreating the same. If you're on the mat, just sliding that knee forward and steadying yourself for a moment. Reaching up if you're able. And then creating that nice little pillow for your head in front. And just taking a few deep breaths, letting yourself rest into this posture. Again, if you wish, you can shift your hips from side to side for those of you on the mat. And just noticing what's rising up and what's settling for you, either in the body or in the mind. When you're ready, as your body has signaled to you it's had enough in that position, you can just bring yourself back to hands and knees. Maybe you want to go back into a bit of a resting pose, widening out your knees, sitting back onto your heels. Or maybe you want to keep your buttocks up and just walk your hands forward, really stretch open the back of your shoulder blades. And for those of you who are seated in a chair, you might just like to open out your legs a little and lean into that opening there, creating a nice stretch in the groin and hips. Just taking a moment to rest in that open position with your hips, whichever one you've chosen. And just breathing through anything that might be coming up for you. And then when you're ready, just coming back to a seated position, just making yourself comfortable. And if you need to, grab yourself some water. We're just going to have a bit more stillness for a moment. And we're going to do a little bit of neural rewiring using the EFT tapping. We're going to focus in on the feeling of overwhelm. So this might be to do with anxious thoughts or perhaps to do with any physical symptoms that you're having. I'll leave it open for you to decide what to put your focus towards. And it might feel a little daunting to go deeper and focus in on the feeling of overwhelm, because often we spend a lot of time trying to avoid feeling it. But you may have heard me reference in past sessions about the difference between bison and cattle in a storm. And the cattle, they run away from the storm and they prolong their time in it. And the bison, they just charge straight into the storm. And so the storm passes over really quickly. And so that's what we're doing here, is we're, through this practice, I'm going to help support you and your nervous system as we face the overwhelm head on and help you sort of process and release that overwhelming emotion rather than continue to avoid or suppress, which can then manifest as those physiological symptoms of discomfort or dis-ease in the body. So we're just going to start, I'm going to gently massage in to just underneath the collarbone here. You might like to just do one hand or maybe both. But as you do, just take a few deep breaths and tune into any overwhelm that you've been feeling lately. So it might be something that's happened today or yesterday, or maybe it's a build-up of many things. Or maybe it's just like a recurring thought pattern that runs through your mind. Just allow yourself to feel into the sense of overwhelm and stop resisting it in this moment. You can just allow it to surface, knowing that you're in a safe space here. Can I just get someone to do an emotion or some sort of reaction just to check that I'm still here?
Still here.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you. I just had something pop up on my computer that made me worry for a moment. Thanks for that confirmation, guys. Okay, so we know that we're in a safe space. We know that we're all still here. And now, if during the tapping there's anything that I say that doesn't quite feel true for you, just go ahead and rephrase it. Just say, change the wording as you say it aloud, okay? You don't have to repeat exactly after me. But we're going to start tapping here on the karate point, so the fleshy part on one of our hands. And you can say, I've been feeling really overwhelmed. And just allow that feeling to be there, to flood over you, without trying to change it. And we're going to switch our tapping over to the other side. So as we're tapping, we're sending through that calming signal to our amygdala. And then you can just finish the next sentence with whatever jumps into your mind. So we'll start with, I've been feeling really overwhelmed about, just finish the sentence. And then when you're ready, we're going to move our tapping up to our eyebrows, and then we're just going to really acknowledge it by saying it again. So I've been feeling really overwhelmed about. And keeping your tapping here on the eyebrows, we'll say, and that is totally understandable. And when you're ready, we're going to move our tapping over to the side of the eyes. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to explore how you feel beyond the overwhelm. So we'll begin by saying, I've been feeling really overwhelmed about, just explain it. And then we'll say, and then I feel really scared or really exhausted or whatever it makes you feel as a result. And then when you're ready, we're going to move the tapping underneath the eyes and say, I feel exhausted and overwhelmed, or whatever it made you feel. And then we'll say, and it doesn't make me feel safe. And then we'll move our tapping down underneath the nose and say, and I don't know what to do. And then we're going to bring our tapping down onto the chin and just take a moment to think about the feeling of overwhelm and see if you can place it in your body. So are you holding it in your chest, or is it more in your stomach? Does it feel heavy, maybe like a weight on the shoulders, or does it feel hot or cold? Is it noisy, or does it feel like a pressure within your body? Just really tune in to the sensation of overwhelm for you and allow it to rise up while we're here in this safe space together. Then, still tapping on your chin, we're just going to describe how it feels in the body. So we'll start with, this overwhelm feels like, and just describe it. And then when you're ready, moving the tapping onto the collarbones, and we'll just describe it a little further. This overwhelm feels like and once you've finished describing it, just moving the tapping down underneath one arm, and we'll say, and that's really scary, or whatever it makes you feel. And then when you're ready, moving to the other side, and I'll give you the opportunity to finish the sentence, whatever feelings there are. So we'll say, all of this overwhelm has me feeling. And once you've described what it has you feeling, just tap on any area of the body that feels good for you. So you might prefer down on the hands, or maybe the collarbones or the chin, wherever you like. And I want you to see if you can intensify that feeling of overwhelm and any of the accompanying fear or anger or anything else that was there entangled with it. See if you can double that feeling within you just for a moment, just allowing it to grow within you. And I know it might feel uncomfortable, but just remember that you're safe here. And now if you're able to, just try and bring the intensity of the feeling up even more in your body just for a brief moment. And then you can stop your tapping, take a deep breath in, and a big sigh, letting go of it all. And then we're going to bring our tapping onto the top of our head and say, I have self-compassion for how this overwhelm affects me. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to our karate points and tapping here while we say, this overwhelm is creating, and just say out loud what it's creating for you in your life. Maybe it's a freeze response. Maybe there's a behavior that you action to try and avoid it. Maybe your overwhelm is creating conflict. And when you're ready, you can move to the other hand, and we'll just explain it a little further. So starting with, this overwhelm is creating. And when you're ready, we'll move up to our eyebrow points, and you can finish this sentence with whatever jumps to your mind first. And it makes me think. And then we're going to move to the side of the eyes, and we'll do the same, but instead of the thoughts that come up, we're going to describe the feelings that rise up. So we'll say, and then I feel. And once you've described how it feels, we're going to bring our tapping down underneath the eyes and say, and I sometimes feel really powerless. And then underneath the nose, it's sometimes hard to know what I should do. And then moving the tapping onto the chin, we'll say, I don't know where to take action. Because I'm so overwhelmed by this. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our tapping onto our collarbones and just go ahead and bring the circumstances of your overwhelm to life through describing it. So what tasks or events or thoughts or symptoms or feelings have got you feeling so overwhelmed? And we will explain it a little more. We'll keep tapping on our collarbones and say, these things in my life feel most overwhelming when, and just explain when. And then when you're ready, we're going to tap down onto the side of the body and say, and that's often when I really struggle. And then on the other side, that's often when I doubt myself. And just taking a deep breath in, a big sigh on the exhale, and bringing the tapping up to the top of the head and saying, but I'm open to loving and forgiving myself for how this overwhelm affects me. And just going back to whichever is your favorite tapping point, and tapping here and closing your eyes down. And as you focus in on the way the tapping feels against your body and the sound of the rhythm that you're creating, just allow yourself a moment to listen and hear any message from your intuition coming through. So perhaps your intuitive self is telling you to slow down, to give yourself more love and nurturing, or to reach out for more help. Just take a moment to tune in to any messages coming through from deep within. And you can pause your tapping, take a nice big inhale in, another big sigh, letting go. And we'll bring it back to our karate points one last time. And you can finish the following sentences, beginning with, my intuition is telling me. And on the other hand, you can finish this sentence, intuitively I feel. And when you're ready, moving up to the eyebrows, I'm receiving this intuitive message with openness. When you are ready, moving to the side of the eyes, I choose to give myself the love and support I needed years ago. When you're ready, moving underneath the eyes, I'm giving myself the love and support I need now. And underneath the nose, we'll say, I am worthy of love. And onto the chin, we'll say, I am worthy of support. And then moving on to the collarbones, I'm giving myself the nurturing I deserve. And then underneath one arm, I know that healing takes time and patience. And then tapping on the other side, I give myself permission to take my time. And then we'll bring our tapping up to the top of our head one last time, and you can tap in the center or all around, it's up to you. And we'll say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And I forgive myself for the struggle. And you can stop your tapping anytime you like. Take a deep breath in, and a nice big sigh. And it's up to you if you want to stay seated or lay your body down. I'm going to invite you to make yourself a little more comfortable. So if you want to just have your hands in your lap, or maybe a nice tight hug, or a softened version, one hand under one arm, the other across your chest. Maybe you want to grab hold of a cushion, or maybe you want to use that as a pillow. Whatever you like, just make yourself comfortable. And closing your eyes down once you're there. We're just going to go ahead and create some happy brain chemicals using the power of our mind, the power of visualization, and knowing that the more we can bring our vision to life in our imagination, the more happy, feel good brain chemistry we can create. So let's go all in with our imagination here, helping all of our cells to heal. So I want to invite you to imagine in 3 years in the future, and you've been able to stick with whatever practices help you the most, and you've been able to improve your health, both physically and mentally, in every way that you want to improve your health. And you get to determine just how much better your body feels, how much more mobile you are, how much more you have clarity of mind. You get to determine how much better you are in 3 years' time. And you also get to decide where you are in 3 years' time. You might be in a different location, maybe a different season. So I'll give you a moment to find yourself, this healthy, vibrant version of you 3 years into the future. And once you do, I want you to start to notice where you are. So in 3 years' time, whatever that overwhelming feeling that you've been having, it's gone. You've overcome it. Maybe you overcame it within a day or a week or a few months. Maybe it took you the whole 3 years. I don't know, but you have completely overcome whatever it was that's been overwhelming you. And I want you to tune into where you are in 3 years as this healthy, vibrant version of you. Start by listening in to the sounds nearby and just noticing if they're sounds of nature. Maybe you're outside somewhere. Or is there music playing? Maybe there's laughter and chatter nearby. Just tune in to the sounds that you can hear and notice how they add to whatever it is that you're feeling in your body. Maybe you're feeling a sense of peace, maybe contentment, maybe excitement, maybe you're proud of where you've got to. Just notice how the noises around you impact the way that you feel in 3 years' time. And imagining that you're opening your eyes up and taking a look around at your surroundings in 3 years' time. And I want you to notice where the light is coming from. So you might be looking up towards the sun, or maybe there's the moon in the sky. Or maybe the light is coming from a fireplace nearby. Just take note of where the light comes from, what it looks like, what it illuminates nearby, whether it casts shadows, how long are the shadows. Just really start to bring it all to life as you look around yourself, being this healthy, vibrant version of you in 3 years' time, wherever you are. Notice the colors. Notice the shapes and the textures. Notice if there is movement or if there is stillness around you. Notice if you're moving. Just notice everything, all of the beauty that you can see surrounding you. And when you're ready, go ahead and imagine that you're taking a big breath of air in this place in 3 years' time. Breathe it right into your body and notice what it smells like. What smells are on that breeze? Maybe there's some tastes as well. Maybe you're tasting salty sea air. Maybe you're smelling and tasting food. What is there to notice with these 2 senses of yours in 3 years' time? And taking a moment to notice if there is a breeze that's touching your skin in 3 years' time. Noticing the temperature of the breeze. Maybe noticing how fabric feels on your skin. Noticing the temperature of the air that surrounds you. Is it dry or is it humid? Noticing if you've got shoes on, maybe going ahead and wiggling your feet and noticing, can you feel the warmth of the earth's energy rising up? Maybe you've got some snug boots on. Maybe your feet are in water. Just notice how it feels underfoot. And moving up from there, just traveling up the body, noticing perhaps how your muscles feel. Do you feel stronger in your body? Are your muscles maybe hot? Maybe you've been using them. Maybe you feel energized. What does your posture feel like in 3 years' time? Do you stand taller? Do you stand with your shoulders back a little more? Maybe your head is tilted up towards the sky a little more. Maybe you've got some more confidence in your posture. And just noticing this version of you, this healthier, more vibrant version of you who has completely overcome the challenges, the overwhelm, all of those things from the past. How does that version of you think and breathe and feel in your heart? How does your breath move through your body? Is it the same or is it different? What sort of thoughts move through your mind in 3 years' time? Are they more hopeful? Are they more confident? Are your thoughts towards yourself more loving, more supportive? Just notice what's different about you in 3 years' time. How does your heart feel? Does it feel more expanded? Do you feel more able to give love and more able to receive love in 3 years' time? And if you don't already have a big smile on your face, I want you to see what happens in your mind and in your body when you put a smile on there now. What shifts within you? What changes in your mind? How does it feel to have a smile on your face? I want you to take a deep breath in and breathe in this feeling. And you can sigh out anything that might be holding you back, maybe any disbelief that this could be possible. Just sigh out those thoughts, let them go. And you can cycle your breath in this way, nice big breaths in, breathing in the feeling of joy or accomplishment or whatever it is that you're conjuring up. Breathe it into your body, and on the exhale, let go of anything that might be holding you back, any self-limiting beliefs or thought patterns or habits, anything that doesn't serve you, just let it go. And maybe you'd like to assign this inhale, this feeling of joy or vibrancy, a color. Maybe it's the predominant color that surrounds you, maybe it's your favorite color. And just go ahead and breathe in that colorful energy of that feeling deep into your body, into your airways. Let it spread from your airways all throughout your body to every cell, every organ, allowing yourself to become completely full of that energy, of the joy or the health, of the vibrancy. And maybe each exhale you can imagine some of your shadows coming out. Sort of like a dark grey colour perhaps, just sighing out those things that don't serve you, just letting them go. Just cycling through your breath, breathing in that colourful energy, sighing out those things that hold you back. Bringing that smile back to your face if it's gone. And as you cycle through with your breath in this way, I invite you to set yourself an intention. And this might be an action that you intend to take in the coming days, or maybe each day, or maybe a couple of times each week. It could be an action that you intend to take that will help you move towards this feeling becoming your reality. So it might be to come to a weekly class. It might be to do a daily practice. Whatever feels right for you, I'll allow you a moment to set your intention, and you can state it out loud if you like. And once you have stated your intention, either just in your mind or out loud, I'll invite you to just gently start bringing yourself back to the present moment. You might like to just reintroduce a gentle sway to your body. You might like to wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe pointing and flexing your feet. You might like to make some shrugs with your shoulders. Just tune in to whatever movement your body is calling for as you wake yourself back up out of this stillness. And when you feel ready, you can blink open your eyes and let the light come back in. And just moving in a fluid way, in whatever way feels right for you. Maybe you want to stretch your legs out, maybe your arms as well, out to the sides perhaps. Just gently bringing yourself back to this present moment. And we're going to just do one more of our tapping sequence, moving over the body and just getting our life force energy flowing a little freer again. I want you to hold on to that intention in your mind as you move over your body. You might like to hold a smile on your face, whatever you like. Just bring your hands slightly cupped onto your belly. We'll start here, tapping your way. Now, if this feels too intense for you, you can also move over these areas in a brushing motion, just moving your energy in a more gentle way. Otherwise, you can tap along with me, tapping onto your chest. And over one arm and tapping down. And we'll do gentle happy seals as we're winding down. Just a little happy seal round of applause. And tapping your way back up. Giving yourself a big pat on the back. We're almost done, all done. And tapping over this other side. And another happy seal, round of applause. And tapping back up. And last big pat on the back. And bringing your attention back to your face, tapping down the center. And slightly further out. Softening anything else that can be softened in your expression as we do the third row down the edges. And gentle fists over the top of your head and around to the back of your neck. And another row slightly further out. And one last one above the ears and down and around. And then just tapping on your lower back and your kidneys and tapping your way down your legs. Onto the top of your feet and all the way back up. And resting your hands back on your belly one last time, closing your eyes down, taking a few deep breaths. And just using this quiet opportunity to check in with how you're feeling now. How it feels to be you and to be in your body in this moment, having done the practices that we did together. Having tuned in to all that is alive within you. Maybe noticing the difference from when you first joined the Zoom or started watching the recording to now. And if you're feeling fatigued, that's a great thing. A signal that your body has switched into the parasympathetic state of rest and digest, and you'll hopefully get a really restorative sleep this evening. You might be noticing that your thoughts have slowed down. Maybe there's more space in your mind. Maybe there's an expansion in your heart. Whatever you're noticing is perfect for you. And we'll go ahead and finish up making one big sound of VU together. So as we do this final sound, sending through one last signal to our nervous system that we are in rest and digest state, we're going to place one hand on our diaphragm and the other on our chest so that we can feel what's happening in our body. You'll feel your diaphragm opening and closing and your heart beating and the vibration moving through you. So we'll just do one sound of VU together as long as you can. Deep breath in now. So to those of you who are watching the recording, I want to thank you for showing up for yourself and doing the practice in your own time.